So this is an explanation of how we see. So light first enters the cornea, and that is like a clear covering that protects the eye, and it begins to focus. It goes through the pupil, which is just a hole, and the iris surrounds the pupil, and it's just a bunch of muscles that either expand or contract based on the different amounts of light. Then behind the pupil is the lens, and that is like a really hard structure from the cow eye dissection. And it focuses the light and focuses it on the retina, and so it displays it on the back, and it is flipped. So if you see like a tree, I don't know, the tree will be upside down. And to help show the pupil in action, I guess, is like this is a picture of when there's an abundance of light, so the pupil is really small, and this is a dilated pupil, and it's where there's normally not a lot of light. Also, the lens can change shape, and that's called visual accommodation. It changes for you to be able to focus on things far away or close by. This is a picture of what's on the back of the eye. There are rods, and the rods are in charge of motion and peripheral vision, and then the cones are in charge of really fine detail and color. Then the cells back here go through a process of phototransduction where they take the image and they form it into an electric pulse, and that goes through the bipolar cells and the ganglion cells, which are the basis of the optic nerve, or which are the optic nerve. This picture, you see the optic nerve here is connected to the back of the eye, and because there are no rods or cones there, we have a blind spot, which normally doesn't affect us because we have two eyes, so they kind of cancel each other out. So what the rods and cones have decided we saw goes with the ganglion cells up the optic nerve into the thalamus, where the LGNs, which are in charge of certain features, and that is like the when Mr. Jew had his hand straight up or sideways. So they each see a different feature, and they go off based on what we see. That information then is gone to the visual cortex, which is in the occipital lobe, and it puts all those different things that the LGNs say that they saw, and puts it together using our memory to make an object and to make us realize what we saw.